This is the core of the mini press with the hood attached, and on the passive side, this is the side that does not have the driving shaft on it. The passive side is fitted with 4 cross tie that stick out on all of them. The active side has the same 4 and the shaft, so it's easy to match the 2 side pieces. One has 5 holes and one has 4. In this step, I'm going to attach the tie rods that go into the passive side. It's a very simple process, basically, of putting them through. But you need to know that it has 2 ends. One is the passive side's end has a jam nut on it. It's a little nut that screws up back and forth on the shaft. The active end doesn't have a jam nut. So the jam nut end is the one that drops through the passive side piece. Jam nut drops through the side piece. In the next step, after the active side is attached, we'll be going back and attaching the passive side. The active side has, of course, the 4 tie rods and the driving shaft coming out. But I want you to know that the top 2 cross ties are threaded. These are threaded rods so that they screw back and forth. And you might take a second and measure to make sure that that tie rod is extending about 1/4 of an inch out of the steel. That'll be true on both ends of this tie rod. This tie rod is threaded. The steel is threaded here. The ones on the bottom are not. They slip back and forth, and they have a jam nut. When we're all finished, we'll be adjusting to make sure that those jam nuts are tight and everything is lined up. The active side has, 5 parts sticking out, and of course 5 holes. They line up, and when you look inside, you can see that the tie rod is extending out You need to hold the cross ties on the bottom because they might turn when you're trying to tighten the barrel cap nuts. And be sure that they're starting straight because you don't want to strip the threads on these aluminum barrel cap nuts. Now you can attach the passive side. Connecting tie rods are slipped all the way out so as to not interfere when we line up the 4 sides on the inside. Get a good grip on that, and then start screwing in the connecting tie rods. This end is threaded. The wood is threaded, so the threaded rod screws right in. You can see it's still sticking out on the passive side, so we have a ways to go. That has to be screwed in until this side is extending into the hole. Do the same for the other end. This is the end, this is the active side, the side with the shaft on it, and it's threaded. The wood is threaded. And then it comes out about 1/8 of an inch from the wood on the inside, which is enough for the barrel cap nut to get started. That's on the active side. Sure it's starting on straight. Now I can put in barrel cap nuts on the tie rods. The top one, remember, is threaded, so there will be some adjusting to do. Be sure it's starting on straight. The bottom tie rods are not threaded, so They're a little wiggly. You want to hold on to them when you're trying to turn them. This one started. It should be sticking out about 1/8 of an inch in there. Now there's some adjustment to do on the inside where the jam nuts are. They should be all on the bottom tie rods. They should be out to the steel sides. And with the 5/16 inch wrench, those are to be tightened just enough to keep them snug. To the bottom tie rods on the steel. And there's a jam nut on the inside of the top. And it's probably already snug. Well, cut a little bit out of it. There are also jam nuts on the tie rod where it connects to the ends of the passive side. So they're brought out to, you bring those out to the wood, make them snug. Passive side has a jam nut. That secures it. I want to measure once more to be sure that the clearance here. The bed is 6 inches wide, so you want the space to be about 6 inches, maybe just a little more on both ends. It's all set, ready for the bed. The active side is where the rack goes, and if I've adjusted it correctly, it should go through with plenty of clearance.